Dave Meltzer tweets and then deletes a story suggesting that Cody Rhodes refused to wrestle The Rock at this year's WrestleMania. Cora Jade's match on NXT last night is stopped due to injury. We've got the ratings for AEW Collision going head-to-head with Elimination Chamber this past weekend. Shawn Spears wins the NXT North American Championship last night. Trick Williams will face Eddie Thorpe in NXT Underground in 2 weeks' time. Jordan Grace's match for NXT Roadblock is confirmed. An update on Jamie Hayter's absence from AEW television. Chavo Guerrero is announced for upcoming TNA Impact television tapings. Rhea Ripley's plans for WrestleMania 41 after she dropped the Women's World Championship seemingly has been revealed. The Hardy Boys, the TNA World Tag Team Champions, appear on NXT last night. The TNA Knockouts World Champion Masa Slamovich appears on the show too. Plus, the WWE LFG coaches have been announced for the NXT Roadblock event. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling. Let's begin with a strange story that Dave Meltzer has tweeted and later deleted, suggesting he may be ill-informed on this one. The Wrestling Observer's Dave Meltzer has tweeted and quickly deleted a potential bombshell that Cody Rhodes declined a match with The Rock at WWE WrestleMania 41. Now, the post, which only lasted a few minutes before being taken down, claimed that The Rock wanted Rhodes at WrestleMania, which Paul Triple H Levesque thought was a terrible idea. While Levesque loses a political argument with Rock and WWE President Nick Khan as arbiter every time, others convinced Cody Rhodes to say no. The Rock doesn't want problems with Cody, so he stood down, hence why Rhodes is now wrestling second-choice John Cena at WrestleMania 41. Here's what Meltzer had to say before he quickly deleted the tweet in question. He said, quote, "The motivation is that Dwayne wanted Cody, legit, and I know this as a fact because a mutual friend last week mentioned the politics as Levesque was absolutely thought it was a terrible idea. But in a fight with Dwayne, with Nick as arbiter, he loses every time. However, several convinced Cody to simply refuse. So art was a lot like life this time. Dwayne wouldn't go after Cody politically, so he let it go. Cena was the second choice, and Cena was fine with it. Punk was never asked." Now, again, take it with a pinch of salt about yay big, because Meltzer deleting the post indicates he did not want to stand by it. Now, if true, it would represent a major political development in WWE and go some way towards explaining the confusion surrounding The Rock, WrestleMania 41, and Cody Rhodes before Saturday's Elimination Chamber 2025 event. However, of course, there have been rumours and rumblings that this has been the plan all along, going back to Bad Blood and later on, certainly last year, suggesting that it was going to be Rhodes versus Cena at WrestleMania, and The Rock's involvement may have just been a later development. So, what do you make of this? Is this a case of more information being put out there? Is this a case of Dave Meltzer just making up stuff on social media? Is the fact that he deleted the tweet an indication that he's not too sure about the story? And in fact, the story itself is not true. Let me know your reaction to it in the comments section below. Now, a bit of an update here on Cora Jade coming out of NXT last night. Ahead of her Knockouts Championship match against Masa Slamovich at TNA Sacrifice, Cora Jade took on former Knockouts champion Jordan Grace on Tuesday's episode of NXT. Unfortunately, this match came to an abrupt end after Jade suffered an apparent injury. With Slamovich looking on from the crowd, Grace came out strong with a shoulder tackle against Jade. Jade quickly fought back with a series of knee strikes and then grounded Grace with a drop kick. When Grace later backed her up into the corner, however, the referee signaled an X, prompting WWE's medical team to check on the seemingly injured Jade. After consulting with the team, the referee ultimately called for the match to conclude, with Grace being named the winner via referee stoppage. WWE's commentary team noted that an injury might have occurred when Jade slipped on the bottom rope, though WWE has yet to confirm that. Now, more details of this came out from Sean Ross Sapp, Fightful Select, and actually later on, Jade herself. Now, Cora's match was stopped, as I mentioned, and accounts on social media speculated that she may have aggravated a knee injury. Of course, she was out of action with a previous knee injury. However, Fightful have been told it was a head injury, not a knee injury. This is something that Cora Jade herself actually posted on social media. She posted, quote, "Got rocked for a second, but my knees are all good. Decent. Thanks for the concern." So the suggestion is, again, that it was a head injury, but she said that she's fine. If we get any more update on her TNA wrestling match at Sacrifice, we'll let you know in a future video. Now let's talk about the ratings for Saturday's edition of AEW Collision on TNT and Max. The March 1st episode of AEW Collision saw the stars of All Elite Wrestling take another step towards the highly anticipated Revolution pay-per-view on March 9th, with a show full of action. The Undisputed Kingdom picked up a big victory over FTR. Swerve Strickland let New Japan Pro Wrestling star Clark Connors know that AEW was still his house, and Daniel Garcia left Oakland, California with the AEW TNT Championship around his waist, despite being unable to defeat Adam Cole as their bout went to a no contest. AEW had been performing well on Saturday nights, especially the Grand Slam Australia show, earning the company's first quarter hour to surpass 1 million viewers. However, the same couldn't be said for the March 1st episode, as the Programming Insider and WrestleNomics have both confirmed that Collision averaged a total of 280,000 viewers, while this number only includes the people that watched the show on TNT instead of streaming it on Max, as those numbers have not been made public. It does mark a 33% drop from the 421,000 viewers the show earned the previous week, and a 16% drop below the trailing 4-week average of 335,000 viewers. It didn't get any better in the key 18 to 49 demographic, as the show posted a 0.06 number, exactly half of the number posted on February 22nd, as that show posted a 0.12, while also being 33% lower than the trailing 4-week average of a 0.09. Meaning that Collision ranked 15th for the night across all primetime cable telecasts. The biggest reason for this drop in viewership is largely down to the show going head-to-head with WWE's Elimination Chamber premium live event on Peacock, which turned out to be one of the most talked-about events in recent memory, thanks to John Cena turning heel in the show's closing angle. Now, going back to NXT last night, we had the brand new WWE NXT North American champion, Shawn Spears, scored one of the biggest victories yet on NXT on Tuesday when he defeated Tony D'Angelo to win the North American Championship. Spears had carefully selected members of his own family over recent months, including Izzy Dame, who betrayed the Dawn and had them ringside to even the numbers against the D'Angelo family. The pair battled back and forth, with D'Angelo hitting a big spear on Spears, but the challenger was able to get D'Angelo into a sharpshooter. D'Angelo hit a forget about it, but Dame got Spears' foot on the rope, causing both families to start brawling. Spears sent Channing Stacks Lorenzo into D'Angelo, taking D'Angelo out on the outside. Back in the ring, Spears hit a C4, but D'Angelo kicked out. Spears got him up again, and D'Angelo fought out the move, but his back gave out before he was able to counter, and Spears pinned him for the victory. He celebrated with Dame, Brooks Jensen, Nico Vance, and Lorenzo. Adriano Rizzo and Luca Crucifino helped D'Angelo back. A big match has been confirmed for 2 weeks' time on WWE NXT. Trick Williams will get his rematch against Eddie Thorpe in an underground match on NXT in 2 weeks' time. Williams came into this week's NXT with venomous intent as he dispatched of KO Dixon via referee stoppage. Taking to the microphone to call out Thorpe, he emerged to challenge Williams to an NXT underground match in a fortnight, which Williams accepted to make it official. Thorpe first entered Williams' radar in December while he was the NXT champion, having feigned injury to get out of the Iron Survivor Challenge, eventually won by current NXT champion Obafemi. Thorpe maneuvered himself to get a single shot at the title. The subsequent title bout between Williams and Thorpe ended in a double pin draw, seeing Thorpe added to the scheduled title match between Williams and Femi at New Year's Evil, which Femi won to begin his reign. Thorpe and Williams have since continued their feud, leading to a strap match at Vengeance Day last month, which Thorpe won via a low blow. Williams is looking to finally get the victory over Thorpe under underground rules, meaning knockout or submission only. Jordan Grace is set for a big match at NXT Roadblock. Of course, the match last night against Cora Jade didn't exactly go the way it was planned due to this injury, but following the match, the Prodigy was seen taking out Grace with a chair backstage. NXT General Manager Ava announced later in the night the pair would be officially squaring off next week at Roadblock. The pair have only ever faced off one-on-one at Battleground once before last year, with Perez retaining the NXT Women's Championship at the time. Now, going over to AEW here, a bit of an update on Jamie Hayter's AEW television absence. Former AEW Women's World Champion Jamie Hayter has been away from television over the past few weeks, and many have wondered where she has been. Despite many rumours circulating around social media, Fightful Select have reported that Hayter is currently back home in the United Kingdom as she's in the process of getting her visa renewed. It's currently unclear how far along the process her visa is, but once she is allowed to return to the United States, Hayter will be back on AEW TV on a regular basis. Hayter Meltzer herself has taken to social media to confirm the report to avoid any rumours regarding her absence getting out of hand. Hayter being back in the UK for the time being is also why she's been taking independent bookings, with her match at Eve 131 Multiverse Rumble event on February 7th against Alex Winder being her last match on the independent scene since 2022. Chavo Guerrero, he'll be appearing for TNA Wrestling soon, nearly a month after defeating Colin Delaney in AIW for his first match of 2025. Four-time WWE Cruiserweight Champion Chavo Guerrero is heading back to TNA. On Tuesday afternoon, TNA announced that Guerrero will be returning to the promotion for the first time in 6 years after competing at Victory Road in 2019, when the company hosts a TNA Impact taping at El Paso County Coliseum on March 15th. Quote, breaking, the legendary former two-time TNA World Tag Team Champion Chavo Guerrero is coming to TNA Impact in El Paso on March 15th at the El Paso County Coliseum. After wrestling in WWE for 10 years, Guerrero joined TNA in 2012 and had the opportunity to work with the likes of Christopher Daniels, Kurt Angle, and AJ Styles while winning the TNA World Tag Team Championships on 2 occasions with Hernandez. However, in 2013, Guerrero left TNA to pursue an acting career and other opportunities outside of wrestling. He would also go on to compete on the independent wrestling scene throughout the 2010s. An update here when it comes to Rhea Ripley and WrestleMania. Now, although she is no longer the Women's World Champion, Rhea Ripley will still be a featured performer at WrestleMania 41. According to WrestleVotes on a Backstage Pass Q&A, the expectation within WWE is that Io Sky will defend the Women's World title against Bianca Belair and Rhea Ripley in a triple threat match at WrestleMania. Quote, the anticipation is that match turns into a three-way at WrestleMania. From what I heard today, fully expecting that match to turn into a triple threat by the time we get to Las Vegas was what I was told. So if the spice isn't there between Bianca and Io, don't worry, it's going to shape out to be a little bit different, WrestleVotes said. The assumption following Monday Night Raw was that it would be Io Sky versus Bianca Belair versus Rhea Ripley for the Women's World title at WrestleMania, especially after interference from Bianca Belair that allowed Sky to win the championship. The finish of Ripley versus Sky on Monday Night Raw saw Bianca Belair cheer on Sky as she looked to get back in the ring before the count of 10. Sky ultimately made it back in the ring in time, and Ripley took out her frustration on Belair, pushing the Women's Elimination Chamber match winner. Belair then pushed Ripley back, something which didn't lead to a DQ. Ripley later focused on Belair when she set up for an avalanche riptide on Sky, which allowed Io to counter with a Hurricane Runner and follow up with a moonsault for the victory and the championship. The TNA World Tag Team Champions, the Hardys, were back in NXT last night. Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy made their first appearance on WWE NXT at the Performance Center in Orlando, Florida. Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy kept the vibes upbeat, talking about how happy they are to return home to WWE. The first NXT tag team to interrupt them was Hank Walker and Tank Ledger. Hank and Tank asked Matt and Jeff for advice. The Hardy Boys advised them to take things to the extreme, but Walker and Ledger assumed that meant competing in TLC matches. At this time, Josh Briggs and Yoshiki Inamura interrupted the proceedings, telling Hank and Tank to stop kissing the asses of Matt and Jeff Hardy, revealing they wanted to challenge them for the TNA World Tag Team Championships. Hank and Tank took them out with suicide dives to the ringside floor. At this time, NXT World Tag Team Champions Fraxium appeared behind Matt and Jeff Hardy. There was a brief, respectful confrontation. All four men agreed to leave all in the ring on next week's episode of NXT Roadblock in New York City and figure out who the best tag team in the world is right now. As I mentioned, Frazier and Axiom will challenge Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy for the TNA World Tag Team Championship at NXT Roadblock in New York City at the theater at Madison Square Garden next week. Speaking of TNA, we spoke about this earlier on, but the Knockouts World Champion Masa Slamovich was in attendance for the March 4th episode of NXT. The reigning Knockouts World Champion was shown before Cora Jade's match against Jordan Grace, which was stopped prematurely due to the aforementioned injury to Jade. Finally, the LFG coaches will be in attendance at Roadblock in New York City. The Undertaker, Bubba Ray Dudley, and Mickie James will join NXT color commentator Booker T at the theater at Madison Square Garden at WWE NXT Roadblock. What they would be doing at the event was not explicitly stated. During WWE LFG on the A&E network, all four legends coach a roster of young WWE Performance Center recruits, intending to get them to WWE NXT. But there you go, guys. This latest pro wrestling news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe bottom right-hand corner. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right-hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.